Hey, what's up, guys? NullRage here, jumping back into the swing of things with a review or overview of Black Cat here. I'm going to be going over her skills, and I'm a little bit out of practice on these skill reviews, so bear with me. It has been a little while since I've even played the game, since December. I talked about that a little bit earlier, and we're going to be going over some of the things that I've missed in the past month or so. So first on that list is Black Cat. Her synergy here at level 25 gives you 2% damage versus bleeding targets, and her level 50 synergy gives you 10% rare and special item find. Her powers, she's got 3 trees here: claws and whips, traps, and thievery, with a specialization down here that, from my brief overlook, has Hunter and Hunted was going to focus on claws and whips, and Predator and Prey is going to focus on the trap tree, whereas Fortune and Favor is going to focus on thievery and stealth. Now, there are some limitations, and we'll be going over all of those once we get down to the specializations. But first things first, let's have a look at the claws and whips tree here. Let me get these on the bar. Alright, so we've got Cat's Claws, which is a basic attack. What are you doing? Quit that. There we go. Alright, physical damage, and it's going to cause some regeneration when you hit. There we go. It's got some nice animations. Before we get into our skills, I actually should look at her costume as well. This is her alternate launch costume. This is the all-new Marvel Now costume. And a lot of you have probably already seen a lot of this stuff, but hopefully some of you will benefit from this video. This is her default costume, which is the classic look for Black Cat. I spaced on her name. I wanted to call her Black Widow for some reason. Alright. The next skill we've got is Land on Your Feet, which is going to do physical damage and apply a bleed. There you go. It causes you to move a bit, and then you do a nice AoE whip and a bleed for lasting effect. I like coupling this with a number of her other skills, and just layering on all the dots is very nice, a good intro into any fight. Alright, Chimera Kitty is going to be a melee area whip. Power is going to do physical damage, 2 hits of it, and it's going to increase the power of all of your whip powers by 15% for 5 seconds. That's going to be something you want to use, again, right off the bat if you're doing the whips and chains. Or whips and claws. Claws and whips. It's the other way around. The claws and whips tree. You're definitely going to want to use this every time it's up to apply that power boost. Alright, next up we've got Whip Crack. God, I can't even talk today, man. Physical damage, and it's going to do 40% increased damage when any trap power is on cooldown. This is going to be a nice one to use if you're using the Predator and Prey specialization and using traps, because anytime one of these is on cooldown, then you're going to get that boosted power. Let's have a look at that. There we go. It's a nice, sort of, almost ranged ability. I love the animation on this. It's very, very nice, very fluid. And is it actually tagged as ranged? No, it is tagged as melee, but it has some very nice range to it. Alright. That is, she only has one basic that I've seen, though, and that's this one right here. But again, you know, once you get into gearing, most of your builds will move away from using a basic anyway, so I guess that's not really a big issue. Grappling Whip is your next skill here. It's going to do some physical damage and 40% increased damage against bleeding enemies. So this is going to be the one you want to use after applying Land on Your Feet, which is a bleed. And then you want to use this for your single target Spirit Spender. It is a bit more melee centric. Animations are pretty cool. Does that? Yeah, it does. Oh, that's cool. The whip actually wraps around her.
I'm spread a little thin right now.
She's out of spirit. Here, get some more spirit back. Here we go. Alright. The whip actually wraps around her with that final hit. That's very cool. That's an excellent job on that animation. Next, we've got Claws Out, physical damage, and it's going to apply a bleed. This bleed does not stack with the bleed from Land on Your Feet. These are the same bleed that gets applied by these, it seems. There you go. You're just going to spin around, slash them with your claws. It's a nice sort of whirlwind kind of attack, and it will go wherever your mouse is. And you can use this to easily dash through groups of enemies and apply bleeds to all of them. I kind of still prefer Land on Your Feet, even for that same functionality. Generally, I'm moving with this skill right here, which is her basic dodge roll. And we'll go over that when we get to the stealth tree. Alright, a deep cut, physical damage, and a increased critical chance. 15% increased critical chance for this power. This effect is doubled if Faux Fillet is on cooldown, giving it 30% increased crit chance. That's awesome. So if you're using Faux Fillet, this is going to be your single target Spirit Spinner, pretty much. There we go. Let's go over here so we can get the animation there. It's a very cool animation. So instead of using the whips, you're now just using the claws. I think that's the only claw single target Spirit Spinner that she's got. Yeah. Alright, now let's have a look at Faux Fillet. Wait. Yeah, they've got a very similar icon. It's not the same. There's very minor differences. Caught me off guard. Alright. Whoa! That was Faux Fillet. It's going to do 6 hits of physical damage. It's going to increase the power of your claw powers. Okay, so we got whip powers with Khmer Kitty. We've got claw powers with Faux Fillet. So you can use either whips or claws in this whips or claws tree. Crazy, right? Alright, there you go. And then this power is going to do extra damage when that's on cooldown. Very cool, very cool. Alright, next up we've got the Traps tree. This is probably the most interesting tree that I've seen with this character. This is a new sort of mechanic, I believe, for Marvel heroes, which is skills that have charges. Now I've seen this in a number of ARPGs before. We may have seen it on other characters in Marvel Heroes, I'm not 100% sure, but I've definitely been using this kind of mechanic in World of Warcraft to play my monk recently, where this skill, it's got its cooldown, but it has a certain number of charges. Now you can see the cooldown is the normal animation here, how it just sort of runs around like a clock, but down in the bottom right of the skill you can see the number of charges that the skill has. Now, one thing to note is that all of these trap powers, except for Taser Trap, which we'll talk about here in a second, share a number of charges, and they gain 1 charge every 4 seconds, and you can spend them all and throw them all out real quick, and then every 4 seconds they're going to gain 1 of those charges. You can see 1, 2, and then it'll spin around again in 3. So they've sort of got a cooldown, but you can choose to use 4 in rapid succession for nice burst damage. This is a really cool mechanic, and I'm glad to see it in Marvel Heroes. Alright, first up we've got Explosive Trap, physical damage, and then it's got a bomb timer of 1.5 seconds, and then, like I said, it gains a charge every 4 seconds. And charges are shared between all traps. This is just, you know, your basic explosion. Nothing too fancy there. Alright, the next one is Gas Trap, which instead of doing explosion will weaken targets and also put a damage over time area on the ground. Again, the bomb timer is 1.5 seconds. I should mention, they're instantly exploding because I'm throwing them out at enemies, but if I throw them out and there's no enemies around, they will wait to explode. So they're sort of proximity based if you throw them next to targets, but if you do not throw them next to a target, they will wait to explode. Alright, Gas Trap, I actually haven't used that yet. There we go. There's the gas cloud, you can see. So you can get a number of these out. You can get 4 of them out at a time, I guess. Maybe even 5 of them, because they yeah, about the time the 5th one comes around is when the first one's fading. what with the 4-second charge gain there. Alright, a grapple swing is next ability here. And this is a extremely cool animation, I feel. Now, let me zoom in a bit. She goes a bit above the camera there. Now, the one thing I did notice about this animation, and it actually looks like, I'm on Test Center right now, and I've been playing this morning on the live servers, is certain parts of it feel a little bit sluggish, a little bit slow. Like, she's almost defying gravity. Which, I mean, granted, she's shooting hooks into the sky. Who knows where they're going? She technically sort of is defying gravity, but I don't know. I feel like those flips, the times where she's in between the chains, could use sped up a bit, so it seems a little bit more fluid. But I really do like the animation. It fits her style, the way that I remember her moving through the skies. Back in the 90s animated series, where I really enjoyed her time there. Alright, let's see. Next up, we've got the Sticky Trap. It's going to do some physical damage and apply vulnerability as well as an immobilization effect. Again, it gains a charge every 4 seconds and has that bomb timer on it. There you go, there's a vulnerability. Oh, I love the animation. That's awesome. It's got this goo all over them. That's great. And of course, if these were targets that actually moved around, you can see the vulnerability applied there with the red stuff. But if they were targets that actually moved around, then they wouldn't be able to. So it turns everybody into a training dummy. Except I think they would fight you back. They'd still smack you. Alright, next up we've got Taser Trap, and like I said, Taser Trap does not share cooldowns. Taser Trap links up with other Taser Traps, does not share charges with other traps. So you can have 4 of these, and you can throw out all of your stuff here. I like the screen shake on that Sticky Trap there. Alright, but then you can do your Taser Traps. Now, if you just got one Taser Trap, it's not really going to do anything. But if you throw down another one, then you've got some fields of electricity. Throwing on another one, you got more fields of electricity. This is pretty cool. This is really cool. It's a really awesome skill. And I wonder what the this I don't know. We'll look at the specialization when we get to it. But this is a very cool skill. What if I throw one over there? Then we've got this big box of electricity. Anybody steps in that, they're getting zapped all over the place. It's pretty cool. It's still missing a few of them because they were in one of the areas that didn't get hit. Sorry, I'm playing around with this skill right now. I haven't really gotten the chance to experiment with it. Yeah, I'm going to have to try that. But that's what Taser Trap does. And it does physical damage. It's an electric fence, but all of her damage is physical damage just to make her easy to itemize. How she does that, I don't know. Probably the same way that Punisher sets you on fire and does physical damage instead of energy damage. You know, it's magic. Alright, so next we've got Thievery is the next tree. We've got Quick Getaway, which is going to do a quick stealth and just pull you out of combat. It's got no cooldown, it's just got a spirit cost. You can stay stealthed forever with this skill if such is your bag of tricks. I don't know, such as what you want to do. Whatever, anyway. It'll get you out of combat really quick and save your life. It will allow you to quickly move through terminals or something unnoticed. Very cool skill. I think a couple other characters, I think Black Widow and I mean Invisible Woman is like always invisible because of her passive. But there's a number of these kind of skills that put you in stealth and move you. They're really cool. Alright, and this one doesn't even do damage, so even if you like hit a target, you're not going to be pulled out like a lot of those other skills. Alright, Put 'em Down. This is what her Thievery tree is all about. It's got skills that can only be used while stealthed. We've got Put 'em Down and Catnap. Now these two share a cooldown. You can see it shared with Put 'em Down and shared with Catnap. This one's going to apply physical damage over 8 seconds. And again, it can only be used while you are stealthed or for a short duration after coming out of stealth. I do like that they added that leeway, but just watch the bar and you can see I've come out of stealth now, but I can still use the skill. So let's say you use that, you hit somebody first, you can still use the skill for a short duration after coming out of stealth. That's very nice because again, I might want to open up with this skill, land on your feet, which allows me to position a lot better, but then I want to go into the Put 'em Down, which would apply both of those bleeds on top of each other and get the fight started really well. You can do that, and that's pretty awesome. Alright, next we've got Bad Luck, is going to be a toggle effect. I'm not exactly sure. I think it's... Okay, using your probability field manipulation, you can give the bad guys a hell of a hard time, causing them to trip and fall over themselves, allowing you to land all the hits you'd like. So, I think it's got a bit of a passive here. Yeah, it's got a passive effect that when you just by having a point in this skill, you gain horrible aim and exposed weakness. I think. Pretty sure. Is there a way to? Yes, I have accuracy on, and I do not have the skill toggled on. So that confirms it is completely passive there. You've got dodge rating and increases your total dodge rating by 30%. You've got some critical hit rating and critical hit damage, and then also gives you accuracy, which gives you more of that critical hit rating, critical hit damage, but also buffs your teammates. Here's the scaling on that. Now, when you have this toggled on, it's going to be difficult to show here, but when you have this toggled on, there's an aura around you. Now, you can see the resists going on here. There's an aura around you that every 6 seconds, somebody you're fighting will get knocked down. It's 2 of them, 3 of them, a random number of them. I'm not 100% sure. There's 3 of them. These 3 getting knocked down every 6 seconds. Now, because they're training dummies, they resist. But if they weren't training dummies, then they would fall to their knees. I don't think it works on these guys either. Does he get knocked down? Yeah, I don't think it works on the the target dummies either. All right, but that's a pretty cool skill and will probably save your life in a pinch. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, it's all luck based, and it's I guess more flavor than anything else. All right, next we've got Catnap, which again has to be activated from stealth. It's just a quick double hit, 2 hits of damage, yeah, and it's got an execute component on it. So if they're low on HP, it might take them out real quick. Put them down for a nap. Alright. Then we've got Cat Scratch Fever, which is her 2 signatures. She's got 2 signatures here, and they share a cooldown. So you can use either one of them. In fact, you can put points in both of them, like I've done here. Now, there's a specialization here that works with them, and it causes Catnap and Put 'em Down to no longer have shared cooldowns, but the shared cooldowns between the signatures remain. Alright. So, the first one we've got is Cat Scratch Fever. It's going to do 25 hits of physical damage. It's very awesome. And there's some improvements for this we'll talk about in the specializations. I really like Cat Scratch Fever. You're also invulnerable during that power, which is pretty awesome. Then we've got Cat's Meow, and we'll have to wait for the cooldown on that, because again, they share that cooldown. This one's just going to do an explosion and then a crash down. Let's have a look. Eventually. Alright, and this one throws out a whole bunch of bombs, they all explode, you come down, and crash down. This is sort of the ranged. Now, that is one thing to note about these skills: is one is tagged as melee, one is tagged as ranged. So if you're doing a ranged build with the traps, then you'll probably be going for Cat's Meow. If you're doing a melee build with claws and whips, you're probably going for Cat Scratch Fever. And if you're doing stealth, then you're really doing whatever you want to do. I mean, both of these are melee tagged, but you might be doing something with like the Power Cosmic, or wait, not the Power Cosmic. I don't know. There's some items that work with the combination of ranged and melee, because she's all physical damage, so you wouldn't use the Power Cosmic. But there's a number of items that work with alternating between ranged and melee abilities. And you might use a few traps and then use the Cat Scratch Fever to buff your melee or something like that, or the other way around, use Claws and Whips and then use Cat's Meow to buff your melee attacks by using a ranged. Alright, now we've got Master Thief. It's got some passive effects on it. It's going to increase your credit find, your rare item find, and your special item find. All that stuff to me just screams, this is flavor. You're a thief. Here you find more stuff, but there may be some usefulness. In fact, if you max this out, you'll probably get your uniques a lot quicker than you would if you didn't. It's got an active effect on it, however, that seems pretty cool. This is going to be like a steroid. A lot of characters have skills like this that just boost them for a short duration on a long cooldown and helps them take down a boss quicker or something like that. And that's what this is. It's got an active effect on it that I don't actually know what this first bit does. 5% chance on melee hit to steal a valuable item from the enemy. I hold on. I've got nothing in my inventory except some I have to know what this does. So we're going to go over here to a green terminal. We're going to probably get wrecked because I don't think I have any gear on. Let me pull one of these out. DPS testament out. There you go. Just so I've got some stats so I can try out what this Master Thief does. Let's go to a green terminal real quick, just to shockers here. And I really want to know, there's actually a specialization. Let's just make it 100% chance. Or down here at the bottom of Fortune and Favor, you see there is a 100% chance to steal a valuable item, or valuable item. Chance to steal valuable item is increased by 100%. Now that actually reads a little bit different than I thought it did, because if the chance to increase is increased by 100%, that makes it just a 20% chance, right? I mean, I'm not the best at math, but I think it would be just a 20% chance on melee to steal a valuable item rather than a 100% chance to steal a valuable item. Either way, I'm going to put that on just so we can hopefully... We got a melee hit here. Yeah, alright. So we got these two melee skills that I'm going to smack them with while we got that Master Thief on. Now, let's see if there's anything that shows up in my inventory or anything like that. And it looks like I think the buff has faded at this point, so we'll have to use it again here. I haven't seen any items. Let's see, we got 2 seconds on the buff. Alright, so boom. And it makes me go stealth. Ah, okay. So I saw some credits. But that may have been... Oh, there it is. There it is. We got some pocket watch. Some gold pocket watch. Out of one of those dudes. Alright, so if you use Master Thief, we have this 2% chance on a melee hit to steal their watches. That's kind of cool. Some interesting flavor. Let's go back to town and see what these watches do. 2,000 credits? Are you kidding? So for anybody new to the game that's leveling up their vendors or something, this character is going to be incredibly valuable. Sell or donate credit chests to your vendor or crafter. Yeah, okay. Alright, so that's how that works. You can actually gain these gold pocket watch. Aw, man. Why did I go back to town? Why did I... Alright. Alright, now I have to go through and actually kill the boss so I can get back out of here. Bear with me, guys. Okay, there's Shocker. Goodbye. We'll just use a signature, take him out real quick, steal some of his items.
When you wake up and your wallet is missing.
When you wake up and your wallet is missing. That's what she does. She goes around just stealing things from everybody. Alright, and then you've got these gold pocket watches, which you can sell to the vendor here. Any vendor, your weapon vendor, your armor vendor. You can sell them directly if you just need the credits, or you can donate them for 2,000 XP to level them up if you're new to the game. Very cool. Nice little bit of flavor. I mean, not really going to help you out in combat too much. The skill gives you some stats, which will help you out a lot. But, alright, now let's go over the rest of the skill. I've spent far too much time worrying about this chance to steal valuable items on melee hit. But at least we know what it does now. Alright, so where is... Let's pull this off. Okay. Alright, we're going to do some damage rating here. It's also going to restore spirit per second, and spirit recovers regardless of power usage. So that is constant spirit regen from this skill right here. Maxing out this skill, I mean, it gives you damage rating and more spirit. You're probably going to want to max that on every build, I'd say. That's a really good skill. And the chance to steal items does not increase, though, with points put into the skill. It only increases if you take Fortune and Favor. Alright, and it's also going to turn you invisible and stun everybody around you. So it's a very nice skill, very nice steroid there. Now we've got the specializations that go with it. We've got Hunter and Hunted is going to drastically change the way the claws and whips tree works. It looks like it's also going to completely disable traps, so you cannot use traps at all. Bleed effects on your land on your feet and claws out can stack with each other, so you'll be using both of these, so that you'll be applying bleeds with both of those skills, and that target right there is going to take double bleeds. Alright, and then we've got Come Here Kitty and Faux Filet no longer have a shared cooldown. It's these skills right here. So you can use... Oh, I see. Alright, so this specialization seems to be all about using both claws and whips, whereas if you don't choose this specialization, you may have chosen one or the other, either claws or whips. But now you can use them both, giving that 15% damage boost to both claw and whip powers. Land on your feet gains a vulnerability effect. Claws out gains a weaken effect. Let's see, where's claws out? This one, right? And land on your feet was this one. Oh, nope. No. I used... Those were completely wrong. Alright, so there you go. Vulnerability and a weaken effect when you dash through them with claws out. And then we've got Catsuit restores your spirit when you hit a bleeding target. It's going to be this one over here. It's going to give you some of that spirit regen. And coupled with Master Thief, both of these, you're probably going to max them both out, right? No, this is a defense passive. You might put points in here, but only after you had put points in everywhere else. But you definitely max out Master Thief. Either way, between the two, you're going to have a lot of spirit regen going on with this specialization. And then we've got Cat Scratch Fever. It gains a bleed effect. That's this one right here, right? So in addition to all of these hits that you're doing, you're also going to cause all of the targets hit to bleed for a certain duration. Very nice. And Cat's Meow, this signature, it can buff either one, it seems. Cat's Meow will always deal a critical hit on the crash down portion. So after you throw out the bombs, when you come back down, you're always going to crit with that hit. Master Thief causes claw and whip powers to always critically hit for a duration. Oh, that's cool. That's very cool. So what's the duration exactly? Well, we can find out. So it looks like for about 5 seconds. I don't know. Yeah, about 5 seconds or so. As long as that invulnerability lasts, yeah, about 5 seconds, you're going to permanently all of your hits will deal critical hits. That's really cool, making it so that only brutal strike matters because you're at 100% crit during this steroid time. All your hits. Wow, that's very nice because you can stack those bleeds on top of each other. Very, very interesting specialization, and I'd have to play with it a little bit more to really understand the intricacies of it, but this looks like it could be a lot of fun. Claws and whips here. Alright, next we've got Predator and Prey. Now this one's going to focus on the trap tree. Let's see, increases max charges of trap powers to 5. It reduces the cooldown of trap powers by 1 second, and Cat Suit reduces the spirit cost of all trap powers. When you activate Cat Scratch Fever, periodically throw out gas, sticky, and explosive traps. Oh, I gotta see that. And Cat's Meow ignites enemies hit by the explosion portion. So the first hit of Cat's Meow. Alright, I gotta see all these. So she's throwing out all kinds of explosions. Oh, that's really cool. That's really cool right there. We're Predator and Prey. So regardless of which which signature you choose to use, is going to be very cool. Cat's Meow, right, ignites. Master Thief resets the trap charges to maximum for all skills. And then this also disables Come Here Kitty and Faux Fillet. So what you'd probably be doing is using Whip Crack here, which is going to do 40% increased damage when a trap power is on cooldown. And then you'd be using your traps. Probably starting with a sticky, then a gas, and I'm not sure if you'd use explosion. I mean, you could, but I'd probably just use the tasers. I like the whole... Uh-oh. I put a few tasers on top of each other. Did the sound cut off? If you have too many tasers, the sound just goes away, apparently. Can't handle all of that sound. Alright. Let's see how many tasers we can get out here. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then reset them. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So many tasers. Oh, man. Okay, so that specialization could be really cool. Again, using Master Thief there to reset the charges on all of your traps, allowing you to get a lot of tasers going on. And then, of course, couple that with some poison fields all over the place, some immobilization to keep them in place. Oh, this is really cool, but there's so many skills and so many different cooldowns to keep up with, and oh man. You could definitely do a range build though with this character with this specialization right here. I think using taser trap sort of, or explosive trap maybe, as your main left click. Nah, you'll use whip crack as your left click. Alright, you will definitely use whip crack as your left click. You'll just use these sparingly to
I'm spread a little thin right now.
yeah, that's because I threw all of my taser traps in the same spot, apparently. Oh, and ran out of spirit, too. This would be a hard build to work properly, maybe. I don't know. I'm not good at it. I have to play with it a little bit, but I do like the possibilities that I see there. Alright, finally, Fortune and Favor is going to be your stealth specialization. Now, the first thing it's going to do, the big thing, is it's going to cause Put 'em Down and Catnap not to share a cooldown. Again, I'd still use Land on Your Feet, because this does not disable. The only thing it disables is Taser Trap. Everything else you can use in this specialization. You'd probably still use a single target spirit spender, like either Whip Crack if you're using traps, if you choose to use traps, like Gas Trap. Anytime Gas Trap's on cooldown, Whip Crack's going to get that extra 40% damage. And you'll probably be applying this dot anyway. Or you could use something like Claws Out if you wanted to do a claw build, and then use Faux Fillet to boost the power of that. Or, if you're not into... If you want to use a basic ability, then you can use Cat's Claws. Let's see, but the first thing, Put 'em Down and Catnap. Use Land on Your Feet here. They no longer share a cooldown, meaning you can use both of them really quick. And of course, you can reset your stealth cooldown anytime you want, so just have short cooldowns on them, and then you'll roll out, maybe throw some traps during that short duration where you can't use either of them, and then you'll use both of them or something like that. Also, we've got Bad Luck now grants Brutal Strike rating. Let's see, Bad Luck is this one, right? Alright, so you've got a little bit of Brutal Strike rating. Here's the scaling on that for those that are interested. Granted by... interesting, it says granted by itself, but it's actually granted by Fortune and Favor. That's just a tooltip error right there. And then we've got all ratings are increased by 50%. Now, does that mean all ratings on Bad Luck, or just flat out all ratings across your entire character? Because that could be really strong if it just increases all of your ratings, like your dodge rating, your crit hit rating, your brutal strike rating, just flat across all of your character with all of your gear. I think that might even be a little bit too strong. So I'm going to believe that it increases only Bad Luck. Let's see if we can test that somehow. Let's put on... No. I've got an idea. If I can find the buttons. Alright, let's make sure Bad Luck's not on. Let's put this on and check my stats. Alright, so real quick, we've got critical hit rating is 3,798. Now, if we spec into Fortune and Favor, and then bring my... It is still 3,987? Wasn't it 3,798? Hold on. It may have actually increased it. Yes. Yes, it does. Yes, it absolutely does. I don't think that's 50% exactly, but you can see here I've got a 52% crit with the skill, whereas before I had a 50% crit. So that's 2% crit on that. So, okay. Alright, it is definitely only increasing the rating gained from Bad Luck. Otherwise, it would be far more benefit. Let's find something like, let's see, a rating that's not on Bad Luck. That would be physical damage rating. Alright, so 5,000, yeah, there's no physical damage rating on this skill. So we're looking at 5,405 is my physical damage rating, whereas if I turn on this skill, then 5,405. So that confirms it. It only increases the ratings that you gain from Bad Luck. So that would be increases your dodge rating, your crit hit rating, and your brutal strike rating will all get increased by an extra bonus when that fortune and favor is on. Pretty cool. Alright, pull this back off. Going a bit more long-winded in this preview than I usually do. I'm gonna go that's okay though. Alright, Cat Scratch Fever and Cat's Meow gain 20% increased damage and cause enemies to be knocked down. This effect is irresistible, which means it works on bosses, and instantly refreshes the cooldown of Master Thief. Ooh, that's cool. We're just gonna use we'll use Cat's Meow. Oh, okay. Cat's Suit restores a large amount of spirit when you critically hit or brutal strike. That skipped over that right there, but that's very nice. And then finally, the last thing again is that last one we went over. The Master Thief gains increased chance to steal valuable items. So, how did that work? Cat Scratch Fever gain extra damage, instantly refreshes the cooldown of Master Thief. So what you want to do is you want to use Master Thief, attack, and then probably use that, and then come down, and then you can use Master Thief again, because it causes your signatures to reset the cooldown of Master Thief. Oh, in fact, if you wanted to get a whole bunch of those credit items, what you'd probably want to do, and now I can't show it on these target dummies, but what you'd probably want to do, since this is going to hit 25 times and is a melee ability, you'd want to use this shortly after using Master Thief. So you'd use Master Thief, and then you'd do this on a whole bunch of enemies, stealing all of their items. And then when you come out of that, you'd go back into Master Thief and use some more melee abilities, probably over here, like Land on Your Feet from the melee tree or any of your other melee abilities. Maybe go in with Claws Out and just sort of dash around in an AoE, getting a bunch of those credit items. I don't know if that's a thing you wanted to do, you know? Alright, finally we've got Unleashed. Now, I have no idea how this works, so let's just read through it. I haven't even used this ability yet. When things are either going really poorly or really, really well, you can further tip the odds in your favor by going all out. Use everything you have at your disposal, your agility, your claws, your weapons, and your probability powers at peak efficiency to make everything go your way. It's going to do some physical damage to 9 enemies once per second. It's going to recover 100% of your maximum health and spirit, and 9 lives instantly refreshes all powers currently on cooldown. 9 lives. What is 9 lives? That may just be a tooltip error, because I don't see a skill called 9 lives. I haven't read about a skill called 9 lives, so I don't think it's like a hidden passive or something. Huh. I think 9 lives was the working title for Unleashed, or vice versa, so now that's just a tooltip error. Very confusing though. So you want to use all your skills, like your signature, and then you want to use Unleashed, and then you will have all of your cooldowns reset again. It's going to cooldowns reduced for all powers by 25% too, so that's really nice. It's going to reset all your cooldowns and then cause them to have shorter cooldowns during the period when it buffs you. It's going to increase your attack speed. The stacks multiplicatively with normal attack speed, meaning that is a huge bonus to attack speed there. It's going to increase your move speed by 100% and your damage and your critical hit rating, and restore 4 of your 9 lives every second. Now see, I don't know what that bit down there means. I feel like I've missed a passive somewhere called 9 lives that it would probably be a revive passive. I don't think I've read over anything like that though. So I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, let's use the ultimate. Here we go. Boom. So there's some that's really cool, those animations. There's no audio here, which I find interesting considering the character's been out for a little while. Maybe they're working on revamping her ult. I am on Test Center right now, so yeah, things could be getting changed around. This could be different on the live servers at the moment. I'm not sure because, like I said, I haven't used her ultimate. But that's really cool. It's going to attack 9 enemies every second for that extra damage. It's going to reset your health, spirit, and 9 lives, and instantly refresh all of your cooldowns. And then give you increased power during that period of time. Pretty cool. I'd like to probably use Cat Scratch Fever. Now I can't reset the cooldown. Unfortunately, it's 10-minute cooldown. But use Cat Scratch Fever or Cat's Meow and some of your other cooldowns here. Maybe throw out a whole bunch of traps and then see what it does to the traps. That would be really nice to see what it does to the traps if you're using Predator and Prey or something like that. Throw out all of those taser traps, reset them with Master Thief, throw out more taser traps, and then use Unleashed and reset all those cooldowns. I don't know if it resets the stack charge, the number of charges, or if it's just the cooldown, which is different mechanically from the number of charges. So I don't know if you could throw out a whole bunch more taser traps on top of that after using Unleashed or not. Anyway, that was Black Cat. I know I've been a little bit more long-winded. Wow, 46 minutes. That's 15, 16 minutes over the normal time. But hey, this is my first video since coming back to the game, and it took me a bit longer to explore this character than everything else. That's okay though, because I like this character and I will spend a little bit more time on her than everybody. Next up we've got Green Goblin, and like I said, a whole bunch of stuff to go over. I haven't touched on leaderboards, I haven't touched on a lot of the changes. Controller support, I haven't even really messed around with it yet, so I'm gonna have to explore all of that. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video and will enjoy some more. Until then, I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take it easy, have a good one, peace.